Welcome back to The Overworld. Today, we're diving into a topic inspired by the wisdom of Stoicism. We'll be discussing 7 behaviors that Stoic philosophy suggests we should be cautious of when it comes to choosing our friends. So, let's jump right in. The great Stoic philosopher Epicurus once said, "Associate with those who elevate you, individuals whose presence draws out your finest qualities." You've probably heard the saying, "You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Well, today we're going to explore that idea. Through a Stoic lens, we will discuss the 7 types of people who can derail your progress in Stoic philosophy and why it's crucial to reconsider your friendships with them. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you would like the video to help me continue spreading the Stoic philosophy. If you are not subscribed, I recommend you subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any video. Type of people to avoid: 1. The complainer. We all have that friend, family member, or co-worker who seems to find fault in everything, whether it's the weather, their job, or even the food. At a popular restaurant, they never miss an opportunity to express their dissatisfaction. Now you might wonder, why should this concern me? I can just ignore them. Well, that's easier said than done. Consistent exposure to such negativity has a draining effect on your mental well-being. It's akin to a leaky faucet, slowly depleting your reservoir of emotional energy. Stoicism teaches us to focus on actionable solutions instead of dwelling on problems. For example, imagine you're collaborating on a project with someone who is a perpetual complainer. Each meeting turns into an exhausting session of complaint without any constructive dialogue. The impact on the team's morale declines, and you're sidetracked from finding actionable solution. You'll likely find yourself increasingly disenchanted with the project and possibly even life in general. So how does Stoicism help us deal with a complainer? There are several strategies you can employ. First, limit your exposure to this individual whenever you can, if that's not possible, perhaps because they're a family member or colleague. Then your second option is to mentally distance yourself during their diatribe. Think of their complaints as a passing storm, loud and unsettling, but ultimately temporary and powerless against the unmovable mountain that is your own inner tranquility. Your third option is to steer the conversation toward solutions, or to change the subject to something more constructive. To quote Marcus Aurelius, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. This timeless Stoic wisdom encourages us to guard our mental peace, diligently ensuring that the negativity from chronic complainers doesn't deviate us from our icy path of resilience and virtue. Type of people to avoid: 2. The drama magnet. Imagine you're navigating your life as if it were a ship sailing through calm waters, but then you encounter the whirlpool known as the drama magnet. This individual seems to have an unending series of crises, conflicts, or controversies, and like a whirlpool, they have an unsettling ability to suck you into their vortex of chaos. You might initially find yourself attracted to the drama magnet's energy, mistaking it for passion or excitement. However, you'll soon realize that being in their sphere is like navigating a ship through a storm, exhausting and dangerous. What makes dealing with drama magnets so tricky is that their crisis can often feel like your own. Their chaos is infectious, and you might even find yourself embroiled in conflicts that you had no initial part in. Let's take a Practical example: you have a friend who has frequent fallouts with others in your social circle. Today they're not talking to Sarah, tomorrow it's Tom. Your friend comes to you for advice, but you notice that this cycle never ends, and suddenly you find yourself also at odds with Sarah or Tom because you tried to intervene. In this case, you could employ a strategy called reflective listening. Instead of offering advice or taking sides, mirror their words back to them. For example, if they say, "I can't believe Sarah said that about me," you could respond with, "So you're feeling betrayed by Sarah's words." This technique allows you to provide emotional support without getting entangled in the drama yourself. Another approach, and one that might sound counterintuitive, is to become selectively unavailable. Stoicism reminds us to value our time highly, and sometimes that means being unavailable for other people's crises, especially if they're recurring without resolution. Turn off your phone during certain hours. Create focus periods where you concentrate solely on your work or personal development, and let it be known that during these times you're not to be disturbed. To paraphrase Seneca, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. This can be particularly helpful when dealing with drama magnets. Instead of anxiously wondering what crisis will happen next, concentrate on the present moment where you have control. Enjoy your life and don't let it be disrupted by someone else's trauma. Make it a point to sail your ship calmly, steering clear of whirlpools that threaten your voyage towards personal growth and tranquility. Type of people to avoid. 3. The naysayer. Picture this: you're an artist painting a canvas. Each brush stroke adds color, depth, and life to your vision. Enter the naysayer. They walk into your studio, glance at your work, and immediately begin to critique it. Are you sure about that color? That doesn't look realistic. You know most artists never make it there. Words like strokes of gray paint start to dull your vibrant canvas. This isn't your standard constructive criticism. Instead, it's a persistent aura of doubt and negativity. For example, let's say you're excited about pursuing a new career path. You've done your research, spoken to professionals in the field, and maybe even taken a few preliminary courses. When you share your enthusiasm with a naysayer, they quickly list all the reasons it won't work out. The market is too competitive. Do you have the right skills? What if you fail soon enough? Their doubts start to feel like your own, and the self-assured vision you had starts to wobble. So how do you deal with a naysayer, especially when they might be someone close to you? One unconventional but effective method is to ask them for advice rather than just sharing your plans or aspirations. When people are put in an advisory role, they're less likely to attack your ideas outright and may offer more constructive feedback. Another method involves flipping the script through a technique called positive confrontation. Instead of absorbing their negativity, challenge them to think of solutions. If they say you'll never be able to switch careers at this stage, counter with interesting perspective. How do you think someone could successfully make a career change? Then this not only deflects the negativity but also encourages is a more constructive form of conversation. Remember the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus: we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Listening doesn't mean absorbing everyone's negativity. It means discerning valuable input from mere noise. When the naysayers start to cloud your canvas with their Shades of doubt, take a step back type of people to avoid for the victim. Imagine life as a game of chess with each player having the same pieces and the same goal: to checkmate the opponent's king. You think strategically, make some sacrifices, and take some risks, but the victim blames the board, the pieces, or even their opponent for every poor move they make. In their eyes, they're perpetually in checkmate, not because of their choice, but because of some external force working against them. Their narrative is a never-ending tale of woe, with themselves cast as the helpless protagonist. While it's crucial to acknowledge that some people face genuine hardships and systemic issues, the victim we're discussing uses their predicament as a permanent excuse, refusing to take any responsibility for their actions or lack thereof. You might find yourself entangled in their storyline, perhaps as the supporting character who constantly needs to rescue them. Let's say you've spent countless hours listening to a friend blame their endless string of failed relationships entirely on their ex-partners. Not only does this consume your time, but it can also subtly encourage you to adopt a similar victim mindset in your own life. So what's your move when dealing with a victim, especially when they might be someone close to you? One unconventional but effective method is to ask them open-ended questions that encourage them to reflect on their situation instead of offering solutions or becoming their perpetual problem solver. Try questions like, what do you think you could do differently in this situation? Or how do you see yourself taking control of this aspect of your life? Another approach is to show empathy and kindness, but don't try to rescue them from situations they need to navigate themselves. Offer a listening ear, but refrain from becoming their perpetual problem solver. Remember the words of the Stoic philosopher Epicurus: the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. If you find yourself getting sucked into the victim's narrative, resist the urge to become one yourself. Take control of your own game board. Make your moves, and remember that in the chess game of life, being perpetually in checkmate is often a choice, not a fate. Keep your pieces moving forward, make strategic sacrifices when necessary, and play not for revenge or pity but for growth and wisdom. Type of people to avoid: 5. The toxic positives. You know this person, the one who always exudes sunshine, rainbows, and endless streams of emojis. They're the ones telling you to just be happy when you're going through a difficult period, dismissing your feelings and experiences with a flippant wave of glittery optimism. Imagine your life as a garden. There are flowers, but there are also weeds and pests. A toxic positivist, however, insists on ignoring anything that isn't a blooming rose got aphids on your leaves. Just focus on the flowers. Don't let negativity into your garden, they'd say. While it sounds uplifting, their approach can make you feel invalidated and disconnected from reality. Suppose you're going through a tough breakup, you're sad, confused, and seeking some emotional balance. The toxic positivist's advice: there are plenty of fish in the sea, just smile and be happy. This sort of excessive positivity neglects the complexities of human emotion and the realities of life's challenges. How do you cultivate your garden without letting the toxic positivists trample it with their indiscriminate sprinkling of good vibes? Only one strategy is to engage them in a discussion that embraces both light and shadow. If they say, look on the bright side, at least you have your health, you could respond with, yes, I'm grateful for my health, but it's also okay for me to feel upset about this specific issue. Both can coexist. You can also employ what psychologists call emotional granularity, the ability to FE and differentiate between a wide range of emotions, both positive and negative. When the toxic positivist pushes you to just be happy, take a moment to acknowledge and label your nuanced feelings. I'm feeling a bit melancholic today due to EXE, and that's okay, can be a liberating affirmation in reference to Stoic thought. Seneca once said, "True happiness is to understand our duties toward God and man, to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Notice the balance: understanding duties which aren't always pleasant and enjoying the present. A Stoic approach isn't about focusing solely on the positive or the negative. It's about embracing life's complexity with equanimity, so the next time the toxic positivist sprinkles their confetti on your carefully tended garden, take a step back. Remember that a garden needs both sunshine and rain to flourish, and embrace your full emotional spectrum. Keep nurturing your garden with the richness and complexity it deserves. Type of people to avoid. 6. The manipulator. Picture your life as a movie script. You're the main character, and you have an idea of how your story should unfold. Where the twists are, who your allies and mentors are, and what your final act looks like. Enter the manipulator, the shadowy producer who subtly rewrites your script without you even realizing it, until one day you find your storyline has veered off course. The manipulator is skilled in the art of emotional or psychological maneuvering. They might use flattery, guilt trips, or even deceit to steer you in a direction that benefits them. You might have a friend who always manages to get you to pay for dinner by saying something like, "You know, I've been having a rough month and you're so successful it wouldn't mean much to you, but it would make my day better." Over time you find that your generosity has been taken advantage of, but calling them out feels uncomfortable because they framed it as a favor to a friend in need. Handling a manipulator can be a tricky business. One method to counteract their tactics is what some experts call fugging. This technique involves agreeing with any truth in the manipulator statements, but refusing to be moved by emotional coercion. If they say, "You're so successful you should cover dinner," you could respond with, "You're right that I've been doing well, but let's split the bill as we usually do." Another approach is to set clear boundaries and enforce them. If the manipulator wants you to lend them money or commit to tasks you're uncomfortable with, learn to say no assertively. Keep your tone calm and your words clear. "I can't lend money, but I'm here to offer emotional support." Sets a boundary while maintaining the friendship. Draw inspiration from Stoic thought. Epicurus warned us we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. The manipulator thrives on your predictable reactions. They manipulate your kindness, your guilt, or your desire for approval by choosing to respond differently. You're taking control of your script again. So if you find a manipulator lurking in your life, remember that you're the one holding the pen. Your storyline is yours to write, and while the cast may include a variety of characters, the protagonist's journey, your journey should always be guided by your own values and decisions. Reclaim your script and don't let anyone manipulate your life's narrative. Type of people to avoid. 7. The time vampire. Empire. Imagine your daily routine as a carefully crafted symphony. Each Instrument represents a task or commitment, and when played together they create a harmonious balance, but then the time vampire joins in, screeching off key, drowning out the melody and disrupting the flow of your life's composition. Time vampires are individuals who constantly demand your time and attention, often without providing much value in return. You may have a friend who habitually calls you for lengthy, meandering conversations that leave you drained and behind schedule, or a colleague who consistently interrupts your work with trivial matters, causing you to miss deadlines. Time vampires don't just consume your time, they disrupt your focus, productivity, and peace of mind. To deal with time vampires, it's essential to set clear boundaries. Communicate your availability and limits firmly but politely. Let them know when you're available for calls or meetings, and when you need focused, uninterrupted work time. Encourage them to respect your schedule as you respect theirs. Another strategy is to redirect their demands toward more productive or efficient communication methods. For example, if a friend tends to engage in long, aimless phone calls, suggest switching to shorter, focused text messages or emails for quick updates or questions. By doing this, you can regain control over your time and prevent it from being sucked away. In Stoic philosophy, there's a focus on understanding what is within your control and what isn't. Time vampires often try to seize control of your schedule and attention, but you can assert your control by setting boundaries and managing your time intentionally. Remember the words of the Stoic philosopher Seneca: it is not that we have a short space of time, but that we waste much of it associating with people who uplift you and align with Stoic principles is crucial for your progress in Stoic philosophy and personal growth. By recognizing and avoiding these 7 types of individuals: the complainer, the drama magnet, the naysayer, the victim, the toxic positivist, the manipulator, and the time vampire, you can protect your mental peace, focus on what truly matters, and navigate your Stoic journey with resilience and virtue. Thank you for watching, and if you found this video valuable, please like and subscribe to support our ongoing exploration of Stoic philosophy. Your engagement and commitment to Stoic principles contribute to a community of individuals striving for wisdom, courage,